Welcome to class. Today we're going to study Bloom's taxonomy and why it isn't applied correctly. Are you asleep yet? Oh, so boring. If you're a teacher, you know that Bloom's taxonomy is basically the system that we use in order to teach little Billy and little Susie how things work. This is boring. So let's add some color. There you go. How's that? As you can see, it goes from knowledge, which is there, all the way up to evaluation. And each one is supposedly the next step in what happens as the child is learning. As you see, okay, knowledge, understanding, application, analysis, synthesis. Here's the problem with that. That's not how it works. It's a general idea to working from a knowledge base. You have to have something to start with. And most people, when they're put into a classroom situation, are assumed to be starting from zero. Now, if they're starting from zero, they're not learning all the stuff that they can learn. How's that work? Well, okay. Let's go to a little bit of hyperbole. Okay. Look at how big that bottom band is. It's knowledge. And the angels sing, "Wah." Knowledge is something everybody seeks. It's the answer to every problem, except it's the very first thing that you need to know. What? So how do you get knowledge if you don't have knowledge? I don't know. After that comes understanding. Then application, analysis, synthesis, evaluation. But if you don't have a knowledge base, you cannot understand. If you don't understand, then you can't apply it. If you can't apply it, there's no way to analyze it. And if you have no idea how everything works, you haven't done the analysis, you can't synthesize new applications for this. You can't synthesize new information. You can't do any of that. And because evaluation is how you put value on what you have learned, there's no evaluation because you haven't learned anything yet. This is not true. This is not true. And you need to know that. The path through all of this taxonomy is, first of all, not the same for everybody. And second of all, is not a straight path. It looks more like this. First of all, you have to understand that nobody starts from zero. The very first breath that you take, you start absorbing the information around you. It's cold. It's noisy. It's bright. Where's mom? I'm scared. So everything from physical to emotional starts that first breath. So even the second breath is not brand new. She's already learned how to do that. Do you have to know the whole dictionary in order to speak? No. Do you have to understand the language and the jargon that's used in investments and securities in order to buy your first stock? Ridiculous. Do you have to understand the difference between a circumference and an area before you can draw a circle? Explain that to a preschooler. No. In fact, there was this story about a very brilliant scientist who was going to teach her daughter how to ride a bicycle. And she just gave her more information than she could possibly use. She figured she had to understand how force works. And then she had to understand the pulley system as a tool. And then she had to understand the angular momentum that was required to maintain a course before she could actually ride her bike. Well, if the child is young, 6, they've already walked, and so they understand the physics of movement. They already understand the the principles of gravity. Let's see, what else have they understood? Okay, what else have they understood? It's a good thing I'm recording this and I don't know this. Balance of physics of movement and vector mathematics. Okay, she's 9. How'd she learn vector mathematics? She plays. She rolls balls around. She pretends to be driving a truck with her little blocks. In knowing just enough, you can start understanding the basics. People hear, see, smell, taste, touch unceasingly. You can know just enough. There's a story that once she had tried to teach her child how to ride a bicycle without using a bicycle. Her dad comes in and says, let's go ride a bike, and picked up the child. And the mother is looking in horror. How? Wait, she doesn't know all of this stuff. And he put her on a bike and then pushed her down the road. Well, she fell over. When she falls over, she applies the information she has learned from fall and gains more knowledge, which boosts her understanding. Now, when she applies the information, she looks and analyzes at the movement of the bike, the distribution of the weight, the slope of the sidewalk. All this stuff is going through her little 6-year-old mind. She makes adjustments to her understanding. Her knowledge base grows dramatically, and she has used understanding and application to add to her knowledge base. Some of that knowledge is based on personal awareness. How does it feel when it's done right? How does she have to adjust her balance when she's pedaling, or when she brakes, or when she turns? You can't get that by studying. If you were to read a recipe, would you know how it tastes? No. Many people, like our scientists, will get stuck on the bottom of the pyramid. I don't know all of it yet. Flashbang. You can't know all of it. Go out and learn in the field. Field work, experimentation, experience hits all the senses, which in turn adds to your body of knowledge. Now take a good look at the learning path now. It makes use of all the other levels of learning to increase the knowledge base. So the knowledge base is not just helping the other levels are helping the knowledge base. So you can see it moves up and down just like it does there in the picture. It involves many levels of thinking, learning, and unlearning to change the awareness the student starts with. Can you imagine? The child has grown to learn that to get from point A to point B, you either have to crawl or you have to walk. Introducing a bicycle is something that's completely out of their wheelhouse. She has to unlearn balance and relearn it on the bicycle. She has to unlearn how she can move up a hill and down a hill When you're walking, you have to walk up and then you also have to walk down. The bike, you pump your feet on the way up and then you just sit there and let the bike do the work on the way down. She learns coasting and balance. It follows a very different path for every student, and it's not bound to one subject area. Now, what I mean by that is when a person learns something in one area, it can be applied to all areas. So let's say she's learned how to ride a bike. She can also use that to ice skate. She can also use that balance in ballet or gymnastics. She has also learned a strength move in her legs that make her hamstrings and her back stronger. She has learned some intuition about how her body works. And that's just on the physical plane. Maybe she understands some of the deeper things about how fast you can go and still maintain control. So she's getting into a little bit of mathematics there. And then she tells stories about this. Well, okay, that's stretching it, but it's English. But then she's also learning history because she has to recount what she did in between each one so that she can remember what to do the next time. That sounds like history, doesn't it? So if you look at this and you understand that even on your second breath, you're not starting from zero. You absorb information every day just by living. Wouldn't it be nice to know how this works? I certainly was curious. Well, we have a pilot program for teachers. We get together to look for new approaches to teaching and classroom management with the goal of making our burden as teachers lighter and our effectiveness greater. We've seen exponential growth in the students. And as you can imagine, it changes the dynamics in the classroom. Now, to register for this complimentary program, go to thefaganmethod.com. And let me give you the address on that. There you go. And if you want to contact me directly, you can go to Rebecca at thefaganmethod.com. And we can have a nice conversation. I can explain a little bit more in detail, but I would really love to see you in our forum because I know that as teachers, you have a wealth of experience and you have a curiosity that is very rarely seen now because most of the teachers I know are right on the edge of burnout. That's sad. We should be having fun teaching and the kids should be having fun learning. Join me in this pilot program. Go ahead and sign up, go to the website and register for this pilot program. And I will see you on the flip side. From behind the desk, out of the bathroom, somewhere. I don't know. Okay, stop. How do you stop this damn thing? Okay. All right. So we stop the recording first.